If your life feels really chaotic and stressful, it's probably not you. It's the result of your systems. So in this video, I'm going to go through 5 habit hacks so you can build habits that bring you peace, productivity, and space to breathe. So getting straight into it, the first habit hack is that your identity creates your habits. A lot of people try to build new habits by forcing themselves to do these new behaviors and to be a person that they don't actually identify with yet. But if you actually switch it the other way around and start to identify with the person you want to be first, then your habits will fall into place after that. Your identity is like who you see yourself to be. And so your habits become more effortless when they're tied to your identity. And you can change your identity and how you see yourself by changing your self-talk about it and the thoughts in your head. So instead of thoughts like, I have to go to the gym because I'm fat, think thoughts instead like, I'm becoming a healthier person and I enjoy exercise, so I get to go to the gym. Or instead of, I need to wake up early, you could think, I'm someone who values my mornings and values myself. You can change your identity by just deciding that that's the person who you want to become, and then stepping into that identity by actually doing the behaviors that that person would do, stepping into her or your higher self or that future self that you want to become. Don't overcomplicate it. Just try and keep it simple. Think about the person who you want to be and then start taking the actions that that person would. This way you're changing your self-concept first and you're identifying with being that person, and then your habits will follow after that. Your actions will follow. The second habit hack is to start small and then repeat, because consistency is far greater than intensity. You don't need a perfect morning routine and to be doing the same thing every day. You just need to be repeating it and staying as consistent as you can and doing it even more than half of the time. If you miss a day, that's okay. You just double down the next day. If you're doing a behavior more than 50% of the time, you've probably got a pretty good habit already set out anyway. But showing up is the most important thing anyway. It doesn't matter if you're only doing 2 minutes of the behavior. If you're showing up, then that's the hardest part done and you're creating that habit successfully. For example, if you just journal for 5 minutes every day, then that beats a 60-minute journaling session once every month or so. You want to be aiming for as much repeatable consistency as you can handle. And it doesn't matter if you do a half-assed job or even just showing up to the gym with your gym clothes on. That's enough. It's most important that you're developing a consistent routine. So even taking little actions like 5 minutes of stretching, that's better than saying, I'll start doing yoga next week. Because small daily wins compound into massive transformation over time. And every time you show up for yourself and follow through, you're developing that trust in yourself and you're building confidence at the task. And this is how you build habits, and it'll become more automatic over time. The third tip about habits that I want to point out here is to start at the very beginning and set the tone at the start of the day. Whatever you're doing first thing in the morning, it programs your brain for the rest of the day. And your brain is at its best first thing in the morning because it's got maximum amount of willpower. You've had a good night's sleep. You've reset your brain. It's like resetting your computer overnight and you're fresh and ready to go. So if you want to start to develop any new habits, the best time to do them is first thing in the morning. So prioritize what's important to you, what's most important to you, and do that first. And we don't want to be seeing any of that cheap dopamine first thing in the morning, like watching TV, scrolling on your phone. At least for the first hour, avoid cheap dopamine behaviors, because what that does is it raises your dopamine above the baseline and then you crash below that when you go back to doing just normal things. So if you're scrolling on TikTok even for 20 minutes in the morning, then you're not going to feel very motivated to get up and go to work or do anything sort of productive because your dopamine levels have crashed, and you're going to make it harder for yourself to feel any sort of motivation. Don't waste your precious morning brain energy on cheap things that aren't going to actually make a difference to your life. Save that for the end of the day after work or something, when all of your willpower is already gone and you don't actually have to use your brain anymore. So what do I do instead, I hear you ask? Well, first thing in the morning, I know it's cliche, but the best kind of things that you can do are things like journaling, meditation, exercise, even if it's just going for a walk outside for 15 minutes, reading, personal development, or reflecting on your week, or reflecting on yourself, and planning your day and writing out a list of your day is a good one as well. And that will also help you to increase motivation. When you implement new positive habits like this into your life, especially first thing in the morning, you will see a lot of growth. You'll see a lot more happiness. You'll see a lot less stress, and you just feel way better about life in general. These kind of habits are cliche because they work. Also, I'll just add in there as well, gratitude practice or practicing happiness. You know, I'm huge on this. They are some of the most powerful habits that you can implement to improve your life. Because when you own your morning, you own your mindset, and then you own your life. You change your life. This is how you do it. And it's all through developing habits. The fourth habit hack is that discomfort is part of transformation. So don't avoid it. You need to start getting comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because this is the only way to grow. Your brain naturally resists change because it wants efficiency. It doesn't want growth. It just wants safety. And so if you're already safe and comfortable, then it's happy to just stay there. But that will hold you back from reaching your potential. New habits feel uncomfortable because your brain is rewiring and it is changing, and it's a hard thing to do. It's going to be difficult. So when you feel those feelings of discomfort, embrace them and remember that this is a necessary part of the process. Lean into that discomfort, because that's where self-trust is built. On the other side of fear and procrastination and doing difficult things is always something good. And I'm not going to lie, it's not easy. It is hard to develop new habits, and it's not nice. It doesn't feel good. But you know what does feel good? At the end of the day, when you're reflecting on your day and all of the things that you did that you're proud of, and how productive you were, and all of the things you got done, that feels good. And it's far worth the exchange. And you can do it, because think about any even little achievement that you've had in your life, any small success or big success. You worked for that and you went through difficult things to get there. Everything that you know how to do now that's easy for you now was once difficult the first time you did it. Learning the language that you speak when you were a baby, it was hard. It's no wonder that babies cry all the time, because they're constantly developing new habits. So when you're developing new habits, remember, your life is probably easier than a baby's. But you're developing habits all the time anyway, whether you like it or not. It's up to you whether or not you actually are intentional about it and choose the habits that you want in your life. And that's how you choose your life and how you want your life to turn out. Because your repeated daily actions make up the person that you are. You are your habits, and your habits are your life. So lean into those uncomfortable feelings, because they're just the starting point. Once you've actually implemented the habit properly, it becomes automatic and it becomes easy. So keep reminding yourself what's important to you and keep pushing through until you get to the easy part. And the fifth habit tip that I want to point out today is that your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. And when I'm talking about your environment, I'm talking about the surroundings, your surroundings. Never rely on your willpower or on your motivation to do things. Rely on your habits and the systems that you've put into place. And you can set up better systems by having better control of the environment around you. You don't succeed purely because of motivation, but you do succeed when your environment supports your habits. For example, you can get your gym clothes ready the night before, so they're ready to go in the morning. clean underwear and everything, and all you have to do is roll out of bed, put them on, and go out the door. Or if you want to journal and reflect at the end of the day, then put your journal on your pillow where you're going to remember it, and you can't go to bed unless you actually move it off your pillow. Another really good example is that if you're constantly distracted by your phone, then turn off your notifications, remove the distraction. Or if you have a really bad habit of snacking after dinner, then remove the snacks from your cupboard, throw them in the bin, and maybe make some healthy snacks in advance or something. When you do things like this and actually set yourself up for success, then you're making things so much easier for yourself, and you're making your desired behavior the default. So thinking about the new habits that you want to make, maybe write down a few things that you can do to set yourself up for success. How can you make your habit easier to do when the time comes that you want to do it? So remember, when it comes to habits, you don't have to completely transform your whole life overnight. If you can do that, by all means, go for it. But all you really need to do is just decide the person that you want to become and the new habits that you want to implement into your life, and then just show up for yourself consistently over and over and over, repeatedly. Repetition and consistency is the key here. And all of your dreams and your happiness and your success and your growth, it all comes from repeated small actions over and over and over. You are already becoming the person you want to be, so keep going. I believe in you. You've got this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more motivation, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, Z's Babe Face.